Hi there, it's Morris from selfimprovementmethods.com, and today we're going to talk about speed reading. Years ago, I took a speed reading course from Evelyn Wood's Speed Reading Dynamics. Do you remember that? I don't know. It was a very popular thing to do. It was well advertised, well attended, and a lot of people went to it, and there are still a lot of people that are speed reading or just reading fast. I think nowadays it's called accelerated reading, which is basically the same thing. But I thought that subject was long gone, and the training for it was not really available. And I came across Tim Ferriss's website here, which is called, well, I guess I'm not being able to see it. It's kind of a long drawn out name here. Let's see if I can move this around a little bit. It is https://tim.blog/2009/0730. Okay, well, I'll just put the link in the box down below, and that'll be the easiest way to take care of this. So, anyway, this is free, and I thought you guys would really be interested in it because it caught my attention here. And he says it with this free little course here, you can learn to read 300% faster in just 20 minutes. And I know this is true because I've done it myself years ago, but of course I paid for a course, and this has everything in that course all in one little web page, little synopsis of the whole process, and you just go through here and do what it says, and poof, you're a speed reader. Here at the beginning, I just show you that what the idea is behind it, and then it's got the little techniques. And then it's got some kind of terminology that they are happy to define, so that's nice. And then the different techniques. So basically, I've got this book here. I don't know if you can see it. It's from my friend Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Lewis Hewitt. I say they're my friends, but I met Mark Victor Hansen once. He's a really nice guy, and he said something kind to me, and I will always remember him for that. So, heck of a nice guy. He and Jack Canfield wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and he also wrote this one here called The Power of Focus. So, what I want to just go over is the techniques that I learned so that you can share, you can see, and I'm sure they're going to be covered in detail on these other ones here. But what you do, let me get over here a little bit. Generally, you read by passes. So by passing, I mean you're looking at, moving with your finger, so your eye follows your finger. And as you turn these, it's hard to do, holding it up. Okay, so as you turn these pages, you're just looking for like bold words, the titles, how the things are grouped, the first couple of sentences maybe, and you're just kind of just scamming through and seeing what they have to offer in the little section. You plan on reading just like 1 or 2 chapters at a time, and you make a pass that's pretty quick, just to see what the categories and the bold letters are and that sort of thing. Maybe if I just blew this up a little bit. There we are. So that's a little better. So the idea is, you can see that, we're looking for headings, we're looking for bold letters, and you're just kind of skimming through, and you're just kind of going down the page. This is the first pass, just to see. Now your second pass, let's go back a little bit here to the beginning. Now your second pass, you're going to kind of make an S pattern with your finger and kind of pick up more information and see what's actually, maybe catch up some keywords in through here. And that will be your second pass. And this is like, You take an aerial view, and now you're flying a little closer to the ground. You can see more detail. And believe it or not, as you are doing this, it's kind of like an outline, how an outline works. You know, you got the category, the big categories, and then indented. You got the smaller ones, and indented. You get the little ones, and then you fill in it. And that's really what you're doing. You're passing through, getting the big categories, and then the smaller categories, smaller subjects, and then more detail, and you're just kind of fleshing it in and filling it in. And then you can see what you really might want to have to, like park on for a little bit and get more detail. But you're just basically making an S figure with your finger, and you're just kind of catching keywords and more detail than when you were pretty well straight down. So here you're just kind of just like spending a little more time with it. And that's what you see when these people are kind of like looking like that. Looks like they're reading very fast, but actually they're just picking up a few words at a time, and you'd be surprised that your mind will catch a pretty good grouping of these of the matter, of the gist of it. It says in that website to actually use your pen in your dominant hand and go like that, but I like my finger because I can actually look above it a little bit. Then on your third pass through, go back to the beginning of the chapter or 2 chapters back. Now you're going to go a little bit smaller, and you're still making kind of an S figure with your fingers. It's kind of hard to see in the, there you go. So, and now you're picking up more words, but you're not following every line across here like this from page, you're staying in the middle parts, and you're making a small S kind of like that. So it's slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast. And what this does, it stops your eyeballs from stopping on a word and freezing you. And it also stops that tendency to go back a couple of sentences or for you to lose your place. And sometimes you skip and just sit there and say, well, did I read that or not? And so you're going back and forth, and then you're picking up more detail. So that's about the third pass through, isn't it? And now this is actually, you're picking up a lot of the information, and because you've made those other passes through, you kind of like see the title here is a pretty good description of what's in the paragraph, so you can pick up a lot more detail with it and see how you're going. This is great when you're studying, because the first pass through and the second pass through are pretty fast, but it's given you, oh, that's something that I really need to look at. That was, the instructor said that was going to be on the test. So now you know where things are, and you can zoom in on them. So if you do that, like these 3 passes through, you're going to have an awful lot of the information. When you read word for word and just one time through, like everybody else does, your retention is actually less than when you have an overview and then a narrower view and then a even lower to the ground kind of view, because you're building the story as you go along. Here you have to kind of like realize what happened before. It takes a lot of attention, and sometimes definitely it's a lot easier to fill in the story through a few passes than it is to just read continuously like one big ball of yarn, and just hope you follow that thread all the way through the book. So that's the way I like to read it. I wouldn't recommend this this technique of speed reading when you're reading like a mystery novel, because before you even know what the characters are, you're going to find out who did it at the back, right? So not good for that, but definitely for studying, definitely for just trying to find out what you need to know without having to read every single line of one big continuous string of words. So this is a great way to do it, and I recommend you looking at this website And then, as a special bonus, I have my specially designed bookmark for people who have many books running at the same time. I tend to have like 3-4 books going at a time. So ready? Here it is. This is you have to design this yourself. You get yourself a nice piece of paper, and look at that. You got an arrow right there at the was that about 3/4 down, and it's only on one side, and it's 3/4 down the page. And what this does, it will tell you of the 4 possible quadrants in a book: top on this side, bottom on this side, top on this side, bottom on this side. And it works like this, and it's just marvelous. I invented this myself, so if anybody wants to make this, mass produce it, please send me 10%. So you if you end up reading and you stop here, then what you're going to do with this paper is turn it around and have it actually face the page that you left off at. See how that goes? So this arrow ink is close to that page, which means when you open your book, nicely bookmarked, when you open your book, you'll know you're on this page because that's where it's facing, and it's at the top. If you were at the bottom, you turn it around and it would tell you, oh, I'm at that page on the bottom, see? And then if you're on this side of the page, you're going to have it turned this way, and it's going to be pointing at the top of this page. See? And if you're at the bottom of that page, then it goes like that. So make sure your paper is long enough to stick out. So when you close the book, you got your bookmark, you can find it. But it's going to point to the page that you left off at. It's just amazing. So there you go. A free bookmark. I've stuck stuff in here, and sometimes you only have like a minute or just a few minutes to read your book, because sometimes you are reading in a place that has only one chair, if you catch my drift. And it's just, if you open your book and then you have to figure out, well, you know, you got to read, spend half your time trying to find out where you left off. So there. All right. So mark your book with the little arrow on the paper 3/4 of the way down, and you'll never lose your place. Get this book called The Power of Focus. It's really a great book. I've enjoyed it very much. And it's by my buddy Mark Victor Hansen. Heck of a nice guy. Does a lot of work for the Red Cross. So, nice guy. Get the book. Go to the website here. Let me shrink this up again here. Okay, good. So here we are again. So this is Tim Ferriss's website again. I'm not a big fan of Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, because it basically says if you're an hourly employee, take the day off, have your phones forwarded to your cell phone, and tell your boss that you're working when you're really not. Now, he probably would be saying that's not what the book is about at all. But I just didn't like that part of it. So I'm sure it's more along the lines of like a outside contractor, or if you're a salaried person, then that would be okay, because now you're just managing your time like a good salaried person or contractor ought to do. So anyway, so I'll put the link down below, and then there's another site over here I thought would be kind of nice to see, and this is all about a speed reading test. So this is called www.readingsoft.com. So reading SOFT.com, and basically you click this little button here, you start reading, and when you get down to the bottom, you hit stop, and it'll tell you how many words per minute you're reading. But you can Google these speed reading tests, or these, you know, how your pace is. You could just Google that stuff and find it. So congratulations. Now you've got a new skill and it costs you nothing. And you'll really enjoy books better, and you can have more books. So this is where people have spent their entire lives gathering wisdom and knowing how to do things, and then they write it down in a little instruction book, and you can read it for almost nothing and then get all that experience and knowledge. I mean, people's books are just priceless. They're chunks of their lives. So if they spend 60 years living or 40 years living, and they write a book about their life or about what they know how to do, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. You can't get that on Netflix. All right. So read fast, enjoy reading, because it's good and it's speedy and you can keep up with it, and you can get a lot of skill, and you can find out what you don't know. So congratulations on improving yourself. So click the link below, like, share, comment, and be sure, go to selfimprovementmethods.com/go and get an ebook, which now you could read in about 4 seconds. And it's called The Organized Mind, and you'll really like it. So great, and make it a good day. Bye.